Hello and welcome back. I am here with Holly.
Hey everyone.
And we are going to be talking about our predictions for Heartstopper Season 3. Heartstopper Season 3 is currently filming. Or no, it just wrapped filming, right?
Oh, it just
wrapped filming. And it is slated for, well, no, not slated. We don't know when it's coming out, but the predictions are late summer, early fall of 2024.
Oh, really?
That's what I said.
I thought it was... Okay. I've heard people say, like, they think it'll be July or August just because the filming schedule was about the same.
That would be even better
either way.
Summer. Yeah, well, I mean, August is late summer, so that's kind of what I saw. That's kind of what I saw was, I just poked myself in the eye. August or September.
Okay, yeah.
But like I said, everything that I saw was just speculation. None of it was like actual, like anything from anybody actually involved in the show. It's just speculation
same.
from like articles and stuff. So anyway,
and mine was just people saying like, this was the filming schedule last year. This was the filming schedule this year.
Yeah, that's basically what I saw too. Is people saying, well, because of the timing of blah 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 blah. Because obviously the writer's strikes put a damper on filming for everything. So, you know.
Even though it's a British production.
Yeah.
They were just kind of doing it in solidarity.
Yep, exactly. Sorry. I just poked myself in the eye.
Also good for them, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's good that they did that. So anyway, we already know that the season will focus on Charlie's eating disorder and will introduce Michael to the campus. Sebastian Croft will not be returning as Ben Hope. His character moved away.
Yep.
That is what we know for sure.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to... This is going to be things that we already know for sure and also our predictions on what we think will happen. This one is going to be a little bit less prediction-y in some cases simply because the comics...
We've read the comics, yeah.
So we do know what's going to happen, but at the same time we don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, because they always mix it up a little bit, and there are characters that aren't even in the comics.
There are some characters that aren't even in the comics, so we will have plenty of predictions for what's going to happen with them.
Yes.
And we do know that there's going to be at least 2 more seasons. They have for sure signed, Netflix has for sure signed them for 2 more seasons.
2 more seasons?
That's what I read.
So they've announced a season 4 now?
They've just announced that they're signed for 2 more seasons. They haven't, I mean, obviously that would be a season 4.
Wait, when did they, hold on, wait. Okay, sorry. I need to look this up, but go on.
Unless that article was written when season 2 was happening, but I don't think so because everything that I read, like I said, was December of this year or sooner.
Okay.
But you can look that up and see if I'm correct on that. Maybe that only counts season 1. No, because I swear the article that I read was literally written like last week. But anyway, so the very first thing that I have is that we will 100% see more of Mr. Farouk and Mr. Ajay. Is that who
Ajay?
In season 3. That was the executive producer told that to Elle magazine. And I mean, obviously, I already knew that. I just hope that Mr. Farouk is less of a creep in this one and his eyes go in the correct directions. I'm not a fan of him, as I've made very, very, very clear. He creeps me out. I don't like it. I don't think they're cute. I don't think they're sweet. I think they're creepy. Not they, just one particular man. He freaks me out. And I feel bad saying that because I'm sure that the actor is a lovely person, but I wish
he really is.
I wish that he would not.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the way they did that either.
Yeah. But yeah, so obviously we're going to see them and their relationship. That I hope to God they have some chemistry, because they have none right now. Like, less than none. And
that's such an unpopular opinion, I found out.
Really? Oh my god, I hate them.
Yeah.
I can't believe that other people don't hate them. But yeah, so, you know, be mad at me, I don't care. I'm gonna sneeze. Are you still looking it up?
Yeah, season 4 has not been confirmed, but which I already like kind of noticed myself. They've all been kind of like dropping hints that there will be a season 4. Like when they were rapping and Joe Locke tweeted like bye for now to his character.
Oh.
And like, you know, stuff like that, so.
Okay, so that must have been about season 2 that they were saying 2 more for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what do you have?
Sorry. I think I know what you're talking about because I put on my TikTok story a while back that there was an article where they did an interview with somebody.
It was Alice Oseman herself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And they said something about it being. Yeah, you're right. Because I read that too, but I just didn't really think much of it because my brain was like, yeah, it was renewed for season 2 and 3. But then I realized, but that article was really new.
Yeah.
So did that interviewer just like slip up and say something we weren't supposed to hear yet?
Maybe. Yeah, because she straight up said in the article, we've been signed on for 2 more seasons with Netflix.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, sorry, you can go on with your...
Oh, that was it. I was just talking about the teachers, that there's going to be more of them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Was already a given, but...
So should we, on this one, should we go by character? Because I feel like that'd be the easiest way to do it. Like what we think will happen with each character?
Yeah, we could. I have them written as characters, or like character by character. That's how I have it written.
Okay, I don't have it written down. I just have thoughts.
Oh, okay. So well, then do you want me to just read everything that I have and then you can say your thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. So, it says, what I have written down is Charlie heads home feeling safe, supported, and blissfully in love. He's so smitten that he writes a DM to Nick saying, I love you, but he doesn't hit send yet. His thumb hovers over the send button. And that, you know, it's just like talking about where it left off. And I'm going to tell you right now that I'm going to feel very cheated if Charlie sends that DM and we don't get the I love you shower scene.
Alice isn't going to do that.
Yeah, she better.
She's already made it. She already said in the thing, fans of the comic know how that iconic scene goes down, but I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't read.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I was annoyed.
I think that the season is going to start out with like, you know how he like the last one started out to him waking up?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be him waking up the morning after prom with that still like up on his screen, and he just stares at it for a minute and starts to feel anxious and just like erases it because he never
probably,
you know, because
that's very fitting.
Yeah.
Okay, but so you know, to continue with Charlie, we obviously know that this season is going to focus on his eating disorder and everything that goes along with that. The only thing that I'm not sure about is in the comics, he spends a good deal of time in, like, what would it be? Like, not really rehab, but like...
In the hospital. It's a psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, like a mental health facility for his eating disorder. I don't foresee them spending quite as much time with him there. I think that will be more of like a quicker process than it is in the comics, because they're not going to want him to spend the bulk of the season
with all the things that they're covering in this one.
Yeah.
And of volumes 4 and 5, they're not going to be able to.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that it's going to be I think it's going to maybe be an episode where he's maybe 2 at the most.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Alice said that she doesn't want to get too in-depth with Charlie actually in the hospital because she doesn't want to portray it as too nice or too bad and invalidate anyone's like experiences
that makes
in
sense.
in a mental health facility, you know?
Yeah.
So she wants to make it kind of like more see Nick. I think she's gonna do it as more of like you see Nick visiting him with Tori and the family, but you don't really see much of him actually in there.
Yeah.
It's more spent, like, seeing Nick grow his relationship with his other friends while Charlie's in there kind of thing.
Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah. So, I believe that's probably going to be the way that they do it. It's just kind of like not doing too much of the inside of what's going on with Charlie there.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of covers both Nick and Charlie together there.
For that part of it, yeah.
Yeah, like it's gonna be okay, so who do you want to do next? Because mine is not necessarily in like
we can do Nick.
Okay.
We'll do the two mains
I don't
first.
have anything written down about Nick. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Not a single thing.
Okay.
I did not find a single thing about Nick. Honestly, nothing. Just about the fact that he came out and it's just going to be Charlie worrying that he's going to get bullied because of it, which is going to, you know, be a big catalyst to his eating disorder coming back, and just Nick kind of dealing with everything with Charlie.
So for me, well, I mean, we know the things that happen with Nick and Nick in books 4 and 5.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole him trying to pick a university and
yeah. Oh, and does he go away already or not yet?
Yeah, he'll go on the road trip with well, it's Elle and Tara in the
in the books,
but Imogen comes along. Imogen comes along in the show.
Oh, really? How do you know?
Because there were leaked photos of them at a university, and Imogen was there, and Rio was there. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know for sure that we're gonna get that.
Yeah. And Alice has said that it's books 4 and 5. So
yeah. So we know that we're getting both of that in the season. So I do feel like things are going to move quicker. Like I think that it's going to be a lot less time dedicated to certain things than.
Yeah, I do too. And people are worried about like the time crunch of like how much she's going to try to cover in one season.
Honestly, I don't think that that's going to be that hard because she's not going to devote as much time to Charlie being in the hospital, and that was the bulk of.
Yeah, that whole. Exactly. Well, and. Book 4?
Yeah, I keep trying to say volume 4, but I keep almost sneezing, so I keep stopping myself.
I can't see her face this time.
Yeah, so you don't realize what's happening. I just keep pausing. I know.
You're just pausing. Yeah, so I think that also a lot of Nick's story is going to be him like trying to reconnect with friends and like him getting like closer with like, because you know a lot of it talks about his dependence on Charlie. So I think it's going to be him trying to work through that.
I also feel like he's going to have to like he's going to struggle a little bit with guilt, like leaving Charlie based off of everything that's already happened.
Yep.
Like he's going to feel like, oh, can I leave him when his mental health is still fragile and blah, 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 blah.
Yep, absolutely.
Which we already know, you know, some of that. You know, we've read the comics, but...
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
But yeah, so, you know, that's a basic thing of what's going to happen with Nick, is just a lot of him, like, kind of...
Going to be there for...
Kind of not moving on without Charlie, but kind of...
Yeah, trying to figure out who he is outside of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Okay, so...
What do you want to do?
Okay, you know what? Let's get more into some of the stuff that, like, we think will be different from the comics, though.
Well, obviously we know that Imogen's going to be there at college with him. Or,
yeah,
you know, at the college tour. So we're going to get more with her. We're going to get more scenes with her that are going to be things that just are completely brand new. I do worry, I hope that they don't do this, but I worry that they're gonna have like some random guy flirts with Nick and Nick starts thinking about what it's gonna be like at college without Charlie, and they're gonna try to insert drama that's unnecessary that doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
And that will mildly annoy me because they don't need to add conflicts like that.
No, they don't, but also the way that Alice handles her characters, I feel like she wouldn't. That's not Nick.
But
you know
they
what I mean?
already threw Imogen in there as a like, oh, this is a like a, what's the word for it?
Foil?
Yeah, for Nick and Charlie, that was wholly unnecessary. Like, they didn't need that. They could have had her as a character without her being that. You know what I mean?
Wait, but that's the thing is, they didn't really throw her in there as a foil for Nick and Charlie. But they threw her in there as she thinks she is.
Yeah, but
she never actually was.
They still made it seem like if you didn't read the comics. You know what I mean?
I didn't read the comics first.
I forgot you didn't read the comics first. That's why you like Imogen.
Yeah. But like she, I guess, but I think that was more of like, I don't know. I don't think
they
that just would be out of
marketed it
that would
as
just be,
she was, you know what I mean? Like they didn't even try to hide it. They made it so she was meant to, for people who watch the show, she was meant to be, you know, because Nick's bisexual, so, you know, obviously there has to be a girl, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think I'm jaded enough, because when I watched the show, I expected for things to be as happy as they ended up being. Like, I never actually expected any of the conflicts to be. But, yeah, like, I guess, but like I said, like, being interested, like, some other guy being interested in him, maybe. But him actually being interested in some other guy and questioning his relationship seems out of character.
No, I don't think he would question his relationship or even be interested. I'm saying he would briefly start to wonder what's going to happen while he's away at college and there's other options out there, and is he going to, you know what I mean?
Oh, like he's going to worry about himself, like the whole, like, Tori, oh, so you're going to cheat on my brother anxiety thing?
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe, but maybe.
I hope that they don't do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not that they necessarily
I hope that they
will.
Don't too.
I hope that they don't.
Yeah, same.
But that's such like a thing that happens in almost every TV show when the character in a relationship visits a college.
Yeah, you know? But how often does this show actually follow those stereotypes?
That is true. I'm hoping that they don't.
Because every other time somebody's like reacted to the show or watched the show, they've expected some normal stereotype, and it never happens.
Yeah, that is very true.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, so what do you think about the whole Imogen and Sahar thing? What do you think's gonna happen with that?
That was my next thing, actually, and I have a feeling you and I are gonna fight about this one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read what the article says. Then there's Imogen, who has been the token straight girl up until this point. At the end of season 2, however, there are a number of hints to suggest she has feelings for Sahar. As such, the third season may see Imogen explore her sexuality and take inspiration from her peers. My thoughts on this are, not everyone needs to be gay. I don't mind if Imogen likes girls. I don't care if she's bisexual, pansexual. I don't care if she's just exploring to see if she really does. But it's also okay to have a straight character in a show where the primary characters are LGBT. Like, it's okay that, like, not every single person needs to be one of the letters of the LGBT. You know what I mean? Like,
okay. I know a lot of people feel the same way that you do.
Really?
But here's my thought on it.
I'm surprised by that. I thought that everybody would want her to be a lesbian because...
No. A lot of people want her to be straight. But
and I don't even want her to be straight. Like, it's not even that I want her to be. It's just that it's not 100% necessary for her not to be.
No, it's not. But here's my thought. Because you use the same thing that 90% of people who have that same issue say is not everybody needs to be gay. But here's the thing, most aren't. If you think about all, like, okay, yeah, they're friends. Well, Tao's not gay, but like Tao is straight.
Yeah, he is the only straight one.
Tao's straight, but also all of Nick's rugby friends are straight.
That's true.
And
but I just meant for
school,
like the main cast, not like everybody in the show.
Well,
I just meant the main cast of characters.
Yeah, but here's my thought on that is that if you think about high school, very often, even before all of them realize it, queer kids tend to find each other and befriend each other. It's like they just end up doing that. And I feel like it makes sense in a lot of ways for the way that they've taken Imogen's character, because she so often is seen confusing, like, well, he's nice to me and we've been friends for a long time, and that's how compulsive heteronormity ends up being, is like, you assume that any positive feelings or closeness with another, like, person of the opposite sex, you like them, right? Like, that's always
true.
her reason for liking people, is, well, we've been friends. Yeah, exactly, like, we've been friends for a long time, so obviously, like, you know, like, that's what she says all the time. Well, we've been friends for so long. She said that about Nick and about Ben.
Yeah, that is
But,
true.
like, and, like, the way that, like, they really have set her character up for that to make sense. If they, like, you know what I mean? And I feel like even though, yeah, it's not necessary to the story for her to be, it would be a good way of showing, like, the fact that Imogen kinda, like, she is that girl who, like, just assumes that she likes people because
she's
supposed to. Yeah, because Nick is already the representation of, like, oh, I do like girls, I just never realized I like boys, where Imogen could be the representation of, like, oh, I thought I liked boys this whole time when I don't, just because I thought I was supposed to.
Right, yeah, I guess that is true. That is very true, because she is very, like, like I said, my friend, who I should not have said her full name, but I did, did that exact same thing, where she thought that every single person that she had friendship feelings for, she had a crush on.
Yeah, because you're just expecting what you think you're supposed to be, and then you're like, oh,
well, no,
that's not how that's supposed to feel?
No, hers were all girls, so it was not.
Oh.
It was not men. It was every single time that she, like, was super close friends with the girls, she thought, oh my gosh, I have a crush on them, and then realized that, nope, sometimes it's just friends. But she hadn't had, like, close friends.
Oh, so that, like, intense feeling of friendship, like...
Yeah, she didn't...
She confused it for...
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
But, I mean, it could happen with guys as well. Like, it could, you know, it can go either way. But, yeah, I mean, I get the point. I just... And,
no,
I mean,
I get what you mean, though. It's not necessary to the story.
It probably wouldn't even be a blip on my radar if it weren't for the fact that she was created specifically just for this series.
Yeah.
And, like, she's not, you know, and, like, her original, like, point was basically to, you know, make people think, oh, maybe, you know, like, people who hadn't read the comic think, oh, you know, she could be, like, a wrench in Nick and Charlie, even though she wasn't. They still marketed, like, oh, she possibly could be.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they're like, just kidding, they can still be friends because now she's gay. You know what I mean? Like, they should be able to show that...
even though she thinks she's straight.
What?
Like, they're still good friends even now, like, even at the beginning of season 3 or 2 when she thinks she's straight, though.
No, I know, but I'm not saying she or Nick or Charlie. I'm saying the audience. Oh, she's not a wrench anymore for this bisexual guy because, oh, she likes girls. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that trope where it's like, oh, you don't have to worry about this girl that I'm friends with because she's a lesbian. Not, you don't have to worry because you can trust me in my relationship, but because she likes girls, so it doesn't matter.
It's true, but I think that they established that you don't have to worry about Imogen, well, like, early on in the second season when everybody still thought she was straight, so they still got that whole, like, oh, it doesn't really matter, like, if she's a straight girl, she still just wants to be your friend. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. They just, I don't know, it just, I don't like when shows and movies do that trope. You know what I mean? And they're not necessarily doing that, but it's such a common thing. Where it's like, oh, this girl, she flirted with my boyfriend, but haha, joke's on you, she really has a girlfriend. You know?
Yeah. I mean, she could be bi, though. And then she still could be.
That is true.
But not. You know?
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about Imogen.
Okay. But yeah, I think that she's probably just gonna end up being bi.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. Although they did give her the lesbian lighting in that one scene with Sahar. But I don't know. I don't think that her and Sahar are gonna end up actually being a thing.
No?
I think that Sahar's not gonna be into her.
Really?
Yep.
Because she's straight or because she's not into her at all?
Sahar's not straight.
I don't know. I don't know anything about her.
She said in that one scene that she's bisexual.
I only saw it like one single time, and I don't remember Sahar honestly at all.
Oh, well, yeah. She's bi, but she seems annoyed by Imogen more than anything to me, to be honest.
Oh, that's sad, actually.
I know, but she doesn't seem into her. Okay, who's the next character? Ooh, what do you think's gonna happen? What?
Oh, I was just gonna say on my next thing I have Isaac.
Okay, what do you think's gonna happen with Isaac?
I mean, the only thing that I wrote down is, will Isaac come out as asexual? My guess is yes. I can't imagine that he won't.
Oh yeah,
that was it. Like that was literally all that I wrote.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do a huge amount with him. But do you think that like he's the first person he's gonna tell is like James?
No, I don't.
No?
No, I don't think it'll be James. I think he'll be scared to tell James.
Oh, maybe.
I think the first person he'll tell is somebody like that you don't expect, like Imogen or something.
Oh, maybe. Or maybe Tara, because him and Tara had kind of a nice relationship.
Yeah, somebody like that. Or maybe he won't tell anyone and he'll like drop hints until somebody asks him or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Or somebody will spot him reading the book.
That's possible. Although they don't usually do things that are like people seeing something and then, you know, like making an assumption, but...
Well, I just meant like ask him.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't think they could... I don't know a ton of places they could really go with Isaac's storyline besides just like...
Well, what I wonder is, are they going to like try to have him have a relationship?
Yeah, like maybe well, I feel like maybe he'll end up like explaining things to James, and James will be like, listen, like, if you're interested, we can try this, but if you're not, like, that's okay too, you know?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And,
like are they gonna try to like explore, because like I feel like it would make sense considering like the tone of the considering the tone of the show, it would make sense for them to kind of show that people who are asexual can still have relationships.
Yeah, and aromantic even.
Yeah, or a romantic
relationship.
He might not necessarily be asexual, whatever he is.
Yeah.
You know, to show that they can still have relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, that would actually be a really important thing to show, because I don't think a lot of people even realize that you could still be interested in being in a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know asexual people who are literally married.
Yeah, because like, it's like, he clearly felt something slightly different from friendship for James.
Right, exactly.
And they need to like, maybe they'll like explore exactly what that means and how he would approach that.
Yeah, because especially since so many teenagers watch that show, like, I feel like it's kind of a delicate subject that they're gonna want to explore. Like,
deeper.
What?
Deeper?
Oh yeah, you cut out so bad.
Sorry. I moved away from the mic to sniffle.
Oh. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's gonna be very, very interesting to see if they like try to explore that. You know, like try to show that he could still be in a relationship with James. Or whoever.
Yeah. I think so. That would be good. I hope that they do that.
Yeah. That's all that I have for him, though.
I'm really curious to know what you think is going to happen with Harry.
Oh, I put 0 thought into Harry. 0. I don't have him written down. I have thought nothing about him.
Okay, I have. You want to hear what I thought?
Yeah.
Okay, so, hold on a second, sorry. I got focused on my speaker game for a second. Okay, so with Harry, because, you know, you've read Nick and Charlie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how in Nick and Charlie they have like a, you know, they still find him annoying and it's not like they're best friends with him, but they have a fine relationship with him at that point?
They do. He's not like the enemy anymore.
Yeah, he's just kind of like obnoxious and, you know,
he's just somebody
whatever.
that they, you know, laugh about what an annoying kid he is.
Yeah, exactly. I think that because they sometimes change things up a little bit for the show, I do think they're going to take it a little more in depth with Harry, to where I think, because, you know, they had him trying so hard to do better last season.
Yeah.
I think that maybe he's going to, like, give an actual good apology to Nick, maybe, like, while Charlie's in the hospital, and, like, maybe he kind of feels bad for being a part of, you know, all of the struggles that Charlie has, because he's clearly not, like, a terrible person, you know? And, like, maybe he'll kind of have some, like, guilt about it and, like, talk to Nick about it and give him, like, a real good, proper apology.
Yeah. Especially if
and, like,
Nick
they'll
ends
kind
up
of
lashing out at people.
Exactly, yeah. Which could definitely be a good addition, because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if
and,
they
like,
mostly focus on Nick when Charlie's in the hospital. And Nick's reaction to it, I can definitely see
and he's,
him,
like, super struggling.
Yeah, I can definitely see him coming to school and, like, people like you are the reason he's in the hospital.
Yeah, and, like, really, like, making it sink into Harry to where Harry's like, oh shit, like, what did I do? Like,
yeah,
this isn't as funny, like, this isn't just a joke like I thought it was.
Yeah.
And, like, that's kind of where they patch things up, and maybe he can actually, like, not be, like, best friends.
No,
but, like, you know, be, like, friends with Harry
other.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, kind of patch things up there, which I think would be quite healing, probably.
And it
for
would
Nick.
be nice to show that, you know, just because somebody's a piece of shit in high school doesn't mean that they continue to be.
Yeah, especially since he's not, like, he's that kid that, like, doesn't realize because he's so, like, privileged, he doesn't... He's not even necessarily trying to be malicious, he's just stupid.
Yeah.
And I do think also because... in my mind, I've always read the way that Harry was acting as, like, almost some jealousy towards Charlie for, like, taking who he considered to be his best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, I think maybe once he realizes, oh, wait, like, that's not what's going on with them, like, he's gonna be like, oh, dude, I was stupid, like, I read that whole thing wrong, like,
yeah,
I was jealous, you know what I mean? Like,
right, like, obviously you can have a best friend and a boyfriend.
Yeah. Like, my bad, but, you know. They're not going to be best friends, obviously.
Yeah, but, you know, they could at least be friendly.
Yeah. So that's what I think they're going to do with Harry's characters. I think they're going to make him actually, like, have a real redemption.
Interesting.
Because I'm glad that they didn't give Ben a real redemption, because he didn't deserve one.
No.
But I do think Harry does.
Harry would make more sense for redemption than Ben. Like, I know that people wanted them to give Ben a redemption because they like the actor, but...
Yeah, but it was not... I can't even stand when people say that was a decent apology.
No, it was a terrible apology.
It was not. It wasn't even an apology. It was like a, this is how you benefited me, and I'm sorry that it hurt you.
Exactly.
But, you know, like...
It was exactly how a narcissist apologizes.
Exactly. And that's why some people fall for narcissists, because it almost seemed good.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so... That's why I think that was... Oopsie, that was a stupid place to drop that. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on Harry.
That makes sense. Okay, so next I have Elle and Tao. Says
Okay.
Elle and Tao will have to do long distance while she attends art school. What I put is I foresee a lot of dramatic angst, specifically from Tao, who is a far bigger drama queen than his girlfriend. I think Elle will come into herself there and strengthen her friendship with Naomi, because I've already said that Naomi will be on the canvas a lot more.
Okay.
So that's what I think is going to happen. I think, well, I mean, we kind of know. Well, I mean, I guess it's different. I don't know if they're going to do the same thing. Like, do you think that they're going to take from Nick and Charlie? Like, you know
I don't know.
You know how in Nick and Charlie, Tao and Elle break up at first?
Yeah.
And then they decide to get back together?
I do, but that doesn't, because Alice was saying that if season 4 happens, then it's going to be an adaptation of volume 6 and Nick and Charlie.
Nick and Charlie, right. So it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for them to do the exact same thing in this.
Yeah. What's interesting about that is if they're already doing long distance with Elle and Tao, then what's going to be the catalyst for their fight in Nick and Charlie?
Right, exactly. That's why I'm wondering, like, maybe it won't actually be long distance. Maybe art school is not that far away. But, I mean, this was an article with Alice Oseman where it said that they're going to be doing long distance. So maybe she just feels like that conflict with Tao and Elle. You know what? Here's what could happen.
Okay.
So maybe they do end up doing like the whole long distance, makes them decide to break up, but then, you know, by the end of the season they get back together because they realize blah, 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 blah. Even though they've done a lot of breakup and makeup with those two already, and it seems a little much, but, you know, everybody's got that friend in high school that breaks up with their girlfriend every 5 minutes and then gets back together.
That's true.
Okay, so... But... so my thought is maybe they'll still do that with this, and then if they end up doing the next season where they have the Nick and Charlie, instead of it being, oh, this is currently happening with Tao and Elle, it could be, well, when Tao and Elle went, or, you know, when Elle went to art school, it was so hard for them and they broke up, and you know what I mean? Like, it could just be, hey, this is what happened before. Yeah, exactly. You know, what if we don't survive? And, you know, it could still be the same thing. They would just use art school instead of college.
It could be. Or even, when you were saying that, I had a thought that what if they did it like, they're fine with Elle going to art school, like, but it's tough and they struggle with it a little bit and they make it through, but it's just really hard. And then when Elle gets into college, even farther away, they're like, man, if we struggle this much with art school, maybe we shouldn't try this with even longer distance.
Oh, yeah,
and we should just break up.
That is true.
So
yeah, it could kind of go either way with it, because like it's like they're kind of, I don't know, it's kind of confusing with them already doing the long distance, because they didn't have this in the comic, right?
No.
So
wait, and they didn't have what? The art school?
Yeah, the long distance art school thing.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
So, I mean, but to be fair, they also, like, Tao and Elle were they weren't as prominent in the comic.
Yeah,
like, in the beginning they were, but once they got
line.
together, it was just like, okay, they're together now, and that's about it.
Yeah,
they focused more on... So I do understand that they do have to give them a little bit of conflict, a little bit of drama of some sort. But I don't know, I feel like it's going to be mostly Tao. He's going to be overly dramatic, and he's going to be constantly questioning everything, and she's going to be like, hey, it's fine, I'm having fun. You know, she's going to be calling him, telling him about how much fun she's having, and he's going to be like, oh no, she has friends, what do I do with my life?
Yeah, exactly. So
because he is genuinely the biggest drama queen.
He is, although he was a lot better with that this season.
Yeah, but he's still so dramatic. Like, it's just in his nature, you can tell.
Yeah. I'm glad that they did something to explain his abandonment issues, though.
Right. Instead of just... I mean, but some people are just dramatic. Like, you don't need to explain away people's drama. Some people are just dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah. He really is super drama queen.
Yeah. So, you know, I feel like most of the drama is going to be of his own making, of him hyping himself up for no reason, like getting himself all worked up for things that are honestly not that major.
Yeah,
because he's a high school boy, and that's what high school boys do.
Yep. Yeah. So, let's see. What else? Oh, okay. So, about like the timeline and everything. So, what? Okay, so the storylines that they have to fit in are. Well, we already know that the first episode's called Love, and we know what's gonna happen with that.
Yeah, that's basically gonna be the whole thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the beach day, getting home from the beach day, the I love you scene. You know, all that. And then,
which I think is how the episode will end, right? I would assume.
I would assume like that happens, and then Nick walks him home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next one is him leaving for their trip. So everybody thinks that they're gonna spend like a long time on his trip, but I think it's just gonna be one episode, maybe even not a whole episode that he's gone.
Yeah.
Or maybe it will be a whole episode and it'll end with Nick's mom on the beach and their whole like talk on the beach about like love can't cure mental illness thing.
Well, but how will they even get to that point?
What do you mean?
Like, won't we have to show a little bit more of Charlie first? Because, I mean, they barely touched on Charlie's illness.
I mean, in the comics, it's...
Yeah, in the comics, but in the comics, we have so much more. Like, they're hinting from day one in the comics. In the show, I feel like they need a little bit more, like, just a tiny bit more. Unless like during Nick's college thing, they show us Charlie and like him getting worse, because I mean it's gonna kind of not come out of left field, because obviously they did touch on it, but like
no, I don't. What? I'm just talking about the scene on the beach where Nick's talking to his mom about everything going on with Charlie, and he's telling her he doesn't know how to handle it.
I'm talking about the exact same thing. I'm saying like. They've barely even mentioned Charlie's eating disorder in the show. I mean, he told him about it, but like, they don't. Like,
well, and he hasn't been eating at all since like the first season. They've been showing that he doesn't eat.
They've been showing it, but Nick hasn't really noticed it yet. Is what I'm saying. Is like for Nick to have that conversation with his mom, I feel like Nick needs to at least point out that Charlie's not eating first.
He did.
Did
that
he?
happened in the museum. That happened in the museum. They had
that's right, because he passed out. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then he told him about him cutting himself at the last scene after prom.
Yeah, I knew that part, but like they kind of made it seem like it was all in the past, not that it was still currently happening.
Oh,
that's what I mean. Like they kind of have to illustrate that it's still happening a little bit more. Which, I mean, I'm sure that they will. I'm sure that that'll be touched on in, like, the first or second episode.
Yeah. So I think that they'll do, like, the whole... Because they have to do that scene on vacation, because it's, like, a really important scene that people really want to see.
Well, I was just saying that episode might not necessarily be the second episode.
Well, if they want to get through all the books on time, it probably should be.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because then there's that, and then he's got to come home. Charlie's got to go into the hospital. They have to do all that. They've got to visit the colleges. The whole Charlie getting out, getting more confidence, going with the band. The whole thing at the whole, like, band playing at the thing. And they've got a lot to get through.
Yeah, there is a lot that they're going to have to get through. I don't know. I feel like they're going to condense a lot of it.
Yeah.
You know, like, a lot of it can be, like...
Well, that's what I was saying, because people were saying, like, oh, they're gonna, like, not give everything the attention that they need to give it. But if you think about it, the entire progression of their friendship and them kissing happens in the first 3 episodes of the first season, and it's done well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, you don't... Well, they show the important parts. You don't have to show every single moment to get your point across.
Well, and like I said before, because of the fact that they're not going to focus as much on Charlie being in the hospital, that cuts out a huge chunk of it.
Yeah.
Like,
but people are mad that people are mad at the thought of them, like, not having a big, long focus on that, because they're like, you know, it's the most important part of the story, and, you know, like, they need to really put focus on it, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't agree, because I don't think it's the most important part of the story.
No, it's not.
I think it's a part of Charlie. Like, it's a part of Charlie, and it's something that he's got to deal with, but it doesn't have to be the main focus of the show. It's not the main focus of the show.
Yeah, exactly. It's a thing that happens, and I mean, yeah, it's a huge part of the comic, but that's different than a TV show. Like, you have to leave out certain things. Like, you have to. And, like, we don't need 9 episodes of Charlie in the hospital.
Exactly. Like, you can do it well without lingering on it for a long period of time.
Exactly. We can literally have a montage, and it'll still show that Charlie was in the hospital.
Yeah, and I really think that it's just going to be focused on Nick visiting him. I don't think it's going to be...
Yes, I think it's going to show Nick going back to school, and like you said, the whole Henry thing. And I think it's going to show... Or, yeah, Harry thing.
Henry's the dog.
And I think it's going to show... like you said, them visiting Charlie, and then it's gonna basically show him getting out. Like, it's not gonna be, you know, weeks and weeks and weeks of Charlie in the hospital. Like,
yeah,
it's not necessary.
It's really not necessary. Yeah. Yep. And I lost it. Oh, and this winter is going to be part of this, too. Going to be part of this season, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, that's going to be a thing where they show the fight with, like, Charlie and his mom, and then him going over to Nick's for Christmas and all that.
Yeah.
Nick's birthday is in there. Like, there's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So, we'll see. We'll see how they do it. I only have one more real, like, question. If you have more stuff written down, what do you have written down?
Darcy and Tara.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I have... I don't remember. Do Darcy and Tara move in together in the comic?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Everything that I keep seeing says that they think that Darcy and Tara are going to move in together because of Darcy's mom. And yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe. Just because they did focus on her mom sucking.
Mm-hmm.
But I just...
Yeah, her name just came up.
I don't know if they would change it that drastically. But at the same time, they didn't really focus as much on Darcy and Tara, like, in the comic. Like, they did, but not, like...
Well, yeah, and when Darcy mentions her family, like, sucking in the comic, it's more of just, like, a lighthearted discussion of, like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my parents are pretty homophobic. Like, it's not really...
like, it's not as major, and the fact that they, like, made a point to show the whole thing, maybe they will have Darcy move out and have them move in together, and, you know.
So...
But I don't know. I don't know that would happen.
I feel like I've had this talk with you before, but I don't remember. But did I ever tell you about the teacher theory?
Maybe? Is there a theory that Darcy moves in with the teacher?
There's a theory that Mr. Ajayi, I don't know, because their relationship would have to move really fucking fast, but there's a theory about Mr. Ajayi and Mr. Farouk moving in together and taking custody of Darcy. And the evidence that because I've heard people say that, so just like with the thing that I was telling you about before with Karen, I had to see if there was any evidence that would make that make any sense. So I went and looked, and I suppose, kind of, because they made it a point that, like, Darcy has a lot of interactions with the teachers in season 2. Like, her asking Mr. Farouk that question on the bus about not seeing any fish. And them covering for her when she gets drunk in Paris, you know, not telling on her.
Yeah.
And when she's... The part that it always felt super realistic, but also super random to me, when she goes up to the top of the Eiffel Tower and she, like, lays down and he's like, we won't have any of that, get up.
Yeah.
Which just seemed really, like, you know, he's just being a teacher, being like, hey, get off the floor, that's gross. But it just felt kind of out of nowhere for me, like they were forcing interaction between them for no reason. And yeah, so I was like, maybe they were building, like, some kind of rapport between them, you know, some kind of trust and, like, guiding figure type thing between them. I don't know.
Huh. I don't know about all that. That seems weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that one doesn't seem all that, like, plausible to me, but I was like, I guess I could see, like, maybe where they could find a way to make that happen, but I don't really think that it's likely.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems very, like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, especially since, like I said, Mr. Farouk and Mr. Ajayi start dating over the summer, and then they're like, let's move in together and adopt a kid.
Right?
A teenager.
I mean,
you know, like...
I mean, they do say that lesbians go from their first date to living together, so...
It's true, yeah.
You know?
I mean, the mini comics do show them moving in together. Actually,
yeah,
pretty
I mean,
quick,
that is true. They do. I mean, we know that eventually they get there, so maybe they would want to, like, rush it.
Yeah, maybe.
But
no, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't really know where they're gonna go with that. I kind of feel like there's gonna be something with the whole Darcy and Tara thing.
There has to be. They can't just leave that storyline lingering at, oh, Darcy lives in an abusive home, but we're never gonna talk about it again.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, they made a point to make sure that we, you know, knew about the whole situation. So there's got to be a reason behind that.
Yeah, they're gonna do something with that.
Yeah, they definitely are. So, who else? Who haven't we talked about besides Tori and Michael? Is there anybody left?
I mean, no, because we talked about Tao and Elle as like a package, so...
Yeah, well, because I kind of feel like they're gonna not really give them much of separate story. I think, I genuinely feel like it's gonna be mostly Elle doing her thing at art school and Tao freaking out about it the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I don't think that there's anybody else besides Tori and Michael who we haven't talked about, who I'm really excited to talk about. So
I know, I've been waiting, that's why I was kind of saving Tori and Michael for last. I'm glad that you didn't bring them up until now.
No, I wanted to save them for last because I love Solitaire so much.
Solitaire is a good one. So do we think that they're going to, like, really focus on, like, Tori and Michael and the whole Solitaire storyline? Or do you think that they're going to just kind of, like, throw it in the background so we kind of see it unfold in the background of everything else?
I don't think they're going to give it an actual storyline, but I do think they're going to put elements where we can kind of, like, if you've read the book, you're like, oh, you know.
Yeah, like where they're going to, like, kind of put it in the background?
Yeah, because you know when he shows up, your brain is going to be like, oh, so I know all of this is going down right now in the background.
Right, exactly.
With Tori right now, and we're just not going to acknowledge it, you know, like... Because, like, they go to that party. Like, how are they going to do the fireworks party with all that insanity?
Right. Like, I just...
want to know if they're going to...
I feel like they're going to, like, intentionally, like, have the whole Solitaire thing be happening, but have it be happening in the background.
Yeah, and, like, you can kind of get little hints of it here and there, but...
Yeah, like where you know, like people are walking down the hall or Nick's having a conversation, we see Tori and Michael doing something that we know is from Solitaire in the background, or...
Yeah,
like that kind of thing, like...
Well, and, like, But the thing is that so much of that is going to have to be, like, anything that involves Nick and Charlie is going to have to be cut out unless they go to that party where the crazy fireworks thing happened and then they just brush it off. Or, like, the school burns down and then they're just like, okay, yeah, that happened. Because Tori, like tries to commit suicide for a minute there. Are they going to acknowledge that?
Well, I feel like maybe that's going to be part of when Nick is in the, when Charlie's in the hospital, maybe they'll kind of show a few wait, does that parallel though? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
No.
I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. They can take creative license with that. It doesn't necessarily have to exactly parallel.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like maybe, like, they're gonna show, like, kind of show it happening while Charlie's in the hospital. And, like,
yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Because then they can show Nick doing his thing, and they can show Tori doing, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, also the what was I gonna say? The Ben thing obviously isn't gonna happen.
No.
That's gonna be totally cut out of all of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Because that's not necessary anyway. Nobody wants to see that Charlie have that happen to him.
No. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how they do it. Like, I kind of want them to, like, have, like, basically the whole thing happening in the background. Because I just feel like that would be funny.
Yeah, it would be. It would be like a good little, like, nod, like, but like not quite putting it in there.
Yeah.
Well, and like, if the party happens. What?
Well, I was gonna say they also kind of almost have to have the party happen or something happen, because why would they go through all the trouble of casting Michael if they're not gonna have Michael be?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and like, but like there are two parties where big things happen. Obviously, that affect Tori a lot. The fireworks one could happen because she even says in the book that Nick and Charlie, like, walk away and don't even really see everything that happens with the fireworks.
Yep.
So it could just be like, they come back and they're like, what happened? And she's like, get me out of here, and then just, like, walks by. And they're just like, okay.
Oh,
and, you know, like... What?
I said that is very true.
Yeah, but then... obviously the other thing that affects Tori a lot with, like, the Ben getting jumped at the party thing
oh yeah
isn't going to happen.
Nope.
Because that can't happen, so they're gonna have to leave that out.
But it could be Harry instead.
Oh, it could be. That would be really sad, but it could be.
But especially, like, if they have that happen while Charlie's in the hospital, that could be what leads Nick to, like, talk to him.
It could be, yeah. Ooh, that would be interesting. Because they've already switched it up between Ben and Harry before, because Harry's originally the one that Charlie gives the big speech to.
Yep.
So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so they could easily just kind of swap that out so that there's, plus, like I said, then that gives them something to do while Charlie's in the hospital instead of just focusing on, oh, Charlie's in the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any more thoughts on...
No, I don't think so.
Alright. What are your thoughts on the character of Michael, or, like, so far on who they cast as Michael?
I mean, I've just seen that one picture.
Oh, yeah, I've looked at, like, I feel like they did a decent job at, like, kind of making him look younger. But people are complaining that he looks too old, but I also need to point out that the actress who plays Tori is 29 years old. So they probably wanted to make her, so they probably wanted to get an actor who was close enough to her age that it wouldn't be creepy for her to, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So... That's my thought on that, is, like, you can just suspend disbelief a little bit for a second and pretend he looks a little younger. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
So, yeah. That's all I've got for that.
Alrighty. Alright, well, that was our Heartstopper predictions. This one is, we still don't have a a date for it, but the anticipation is sometime in 2024. At least this one is done
sometime
filming.
in like summer-ish. Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully before too long there will be a release date.
Yeah,
I don't think we'll need to come back and do another theories one for this one like we probably will with Stranger Things, simply because this one is a little less theory and a little more like
what are we gathering from the books
like we kind of already know a lot of the plot, but there's obviously going to be some differences, and you know, there's new characters that aren't in the books that obviously will have their own storylines, and it's going to be interesting to see how they manage to get everything that they're putting in there into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it. So let us know if you agree or disagree with any of our theories, and what you think will happen or what you want to see happen, and if you think Imogen should be a lesbian or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I lost my mouse. Oh. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.